Thank you so much, Pius. Pius, we may wonder why someone from the United Kingdom is analyzing the Nigeria Premier Football League. Can you give them a benefit of doubt, please?
Well, I mean, it's I don't know what you want me to say about that, but I'm first a Nigerian before wherever I am. But basically, right here on a course, that's why I'm here. But I still follow the league from wherever I am because the league is my first job, if I will use that word. So it is me covering the league from wherever I am. But at the moment, I'm still running my course right here. So depending on whenever I finish my course, but we still follow Nigerian football, of course, everything that happens in Nigeria from here. So I think that's the best answer I can give to that question. If that answers your questions anyways.
All right, that does it. You're a Nigerian, and following the league is one thing you do as a journalist. So let's talk about match day 15 in the Nigeria Premier Football League. You may not be here feeling the whole heat. I am here. I felt it. All the way from Aba, all the way from Katsina. We had different matches was played in different venues across Nigeria. But let me fix my gaze on Enyimba. Enyimba's win did not take them into the top half, but it showed Rangers' title momentum. Yes, that slow title momentum. Does this result signal a potential turning point for Enyimba with the fact that they had suspended Stanley Eguma and have Ayeni controlling the helms right now? Or is it a simple derby win, bragging right? Anytime they see Rangers, they just want to step up the plate. What do you think, Pius?
I think it's a combination of this and that, combination of what the former and of course the latter, because the new manager bounce will always be there. Saliguma has to step down, Ayeni taking over. That is also bound to happen. But of course, we can also take away the rivalry between these two teams. The Oriental Derby, like we always call it, of course, came up to life. Enyimba showed that they can actually win again after having only one win in their last 9 games. The last win was the win against Canopilas, where they won 2-0 in front of their fans. After that game, they've lost to Wicked Tourists, they've lost to Warri Wolves in front of their fans. They drew to Rivers United right in front of their fans. These are not the kind of results always known with Enyimba. They are always a team that always love to win at home. In fact, in recent years, they've also gone away to win at home. When they were with Finidi George a few seasons ago, they were winning away from home. Even when Olanwaji coach Yema Star was with them, they were also grinding results, picking points away from home. But Enyimba in the last 9 games, just one win was not really a good thing for, and the manager had to, be the sacrificial lamb, like we always know in Nigeria Premier Football League. So that said, the rivalry between themselves and Rangers also they were going into that game. Not, to be honest with you, I didn't think they were favorites, even though they had a better form. They've won 3 of their last 4 games before going into that game yesterday. So I thought they were in better form. But of course, in games like this, Nigeria Premier Football League, forms do not matter. I remember last season, I think it was last season, when Ikorodu City were to play Remo Stars. Remo Stars were flying high. Ikorodu City were just somewhere there. When it came to that particular derby, we know how it ended. Shooting Stars, Remo Stars, these derbies, we tend to see some of these teams, and it is bragging right for the club, bragging right for the fans, bragging right for the players, and of course for the town itself. Talking about Aba, I'm sure that whenever we have fixtures like the probably reverse fixture or something, we'll probably see similar things. It's just the way it is. It's the rivalry between these two teams.
All right, you mentioned Ikorodu City. Let's shift our attention to them right now because they are the new bride in town, topping the NPFL table on goal difference, and they are proven to be one of the most disciplined sides defensively. I would say it again. They are very disciplined. I saw that matchup by them and how they were able to organize themselves at the back end. That was really beautiful. Pius, do you see a tactical structure holding up over the long stretch of the season? Can they stay top, or they would get to 4 one day like the Elephant?
Well, in terms of defensive structure for Ikorodu City, they've been very, very good. Even though I think the likes of Rivers United, who have considered less goals to Ikorodu City, also have a better defensive record because they've considered 4 goals. Talking about Rivers United, even though they've played 3 games, Ikorodu City have played 3 games more than than Rivers United. Having said that, Ikorodu City themselves have played 15 games. They've scored 18 goals and conceded 10. That's a +8 goal difference for them. A fantastic record, having 27 points. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, which is also very, very good. They are not conceding too many goals, and of course, they are not scoring too many either. When they need to score, they score. When they don't need to score, they just score one goal and, of course, lock up shop, which is very, very good for a team that wants to defend their title. This is something we've seen in the last few years of teams who have actually defended their title. I remember Remo Stars last season. At some point, we were complaining, this team, they are not scoring goals, but they are not conceding either, which is good. Because if you are not conceding and then you are scoring, it means that you can score one goal and that's the end of the game, which helps you, gives you confidence, of course, helps you to win the league. But if Ikorodu City will go that far to winning the league, that's another matter entirely. But I think I'm quite impressed with how they've played this season. They've lost only twice in 15 games this season, even though they've drawn as many games as they've won. They've drawn 6 games and they've won 7 games. It's neither here nor there, but of course, they are picking points away from home as well. That's talking about Ikorodu City. In terms of their midfield structure, I think the way they ended last season is the way they've continued this season. I'm seeing a team who do know how to use the ball very, very well. That's one thing that needs to be said. And of course, they have fast wingers who can also contribute in scoring goals and of course assisting. I think for Ikorodu City, how they are able to balance this squad to the end of the season remains to be seen. Let's not forget that we have January, where some of these players probably want to jump ship, probably want to leave the club and all of that. How they are able to keep the core of this team till the end of the season is a matter. Because last season, they lost a couple of their players. One of them is even playing for Rivers United at this point in time. So how they are able to manage these boys and keep these boys with this particular moment. Let's not also forget Nasarawa United, who are also breathing down their neck. So, Rivers United, like
it's a tough call.
Play 3 games less than this guy. So, the season is still a long way to go. But yes, they are doing so well. Talking about Ikorodu City.
Yes, a long way to go. 15 games played already, and Ikorodu City is staying atop the table. But let's talk about that team that sits at number 6 in the top 6 standing, Warri Wolves. A 1-0 loss to Warri Wolves cost Nasarawa a chance to go clear at top. Remember that Ikorodu are topping that table with just goal difference. Pius, is this just a one-off leap, or are there deeper concerns about Nasarawa's ability to control games away from home?
For Nasarawa United, you probably expect them to. I was surprised they lost to Warri Wolves. Let me state that clear, because Warri Wolves, their last game was against Kun Khalifai. They played at a 1-1 draw.
Yes.
They lost at home to they lost at home to Rivers United.
Yes.
In fact, they didn't pick any points in their they didn't win in their last 4 games before yesterday's game, which was why I felt like Nasarawa United, with their 2 wins and 2 draws in their last 4 games, should be able to do something away at. But it shows that this league can be very, very unpredictable. You don't know how this is gonna pan out. For Nasarawa United, I think what actually has been going for them is the fact that they believe that they can go anywhere and pick a point, which was what they tried to do yesterday, but unfortunately it didn't go their way. I was surprised they didn't pick any point. I was expecting that game to end in a draw, but unfortunately it didn't happen that way. And that was why when I was talking about Ikorodu City, I mentioned Nasarawa United, because they are this team I think we should not underrate at this point in time. They started so well. They also do not have a bad defensive record. They're a team that can also score and, of course, keep clean sheets. In their last, I think they've scored 16 goals, conceded 10, the same as Ikorodu City. And they've also lost 4 times this season, 2 more than Ikorodu City, who are on top of the table. They've won more games than Ikorodu City, 8. And of course, they've drawn lesser games than Ikorodu City. They've drawn 3 games. Ikorodu City have drawn 6. So, where they are lacking, Ikorodu City are actually capitalizing, and sometimes where they are capitalizing, Ikorodu City are actually lacking. So, it's quite balanced for both teams who are actually, on top, first and second. They have the same number of points at the end of the day. So, Nasarawa United are another team I think we should be wary of. Yes, they lost yesterday, but I don't think it's something that would actually dampen their morale. They'll probably go back home and, of course, continue with their winning streak. Yes,
maybe they should just stay more with their home games and hope that they can get more points with home games, because they're not doing so good away from home. Let's talk about
winning the league at the end of the day, because if they stay consistent with winning only home games, there are teams like Ikorodu City, Rivers United, these guys are picking points away from home.
Yes.
It eventually counts for them at the end of the day.
One man's meat is another man's poison. So right now, anything goes for these teams. Let's look at 3SC. It seems that they are tightening their grip. They are really tightening their grip Katsina and Plateau United dropping points, and we had Kun Khalifai, they were rising. Which team looks most likely to solidify a top 4 finish? I know this question is just too early to ask, but what teams do you think they're ready to solidify that top 4 at the end of the day?
I mean, I've mentioned the first two. If those guys remain consistent, they might, you know. I worry for Abia Warriors. I worry for Abia Warriors. Imama's boys, they started well, like a house on fire. They were doing so well, picking points at home, away from home. Imama's boys have failed to have failed to win in their last 4, 2 wins and 2 draws. Really not so nice for a team that wants to get into the top 4 again, like they did last season. I wouldn't say what it was because they are 6th on the table, but I think teams like we should look out for teams like Rivers United. Definitely, I think they would do well to get into that top 4, and most likely Enyimba. Enyimba might be 9th on the table right now, but I think they have what it takes to push themselves back into that conversation. So for me, apart from the top 2 who are right now on points, same point, 27 points, I think Rivers United and Enyimba should do well to.
Okay, we'll wait and see. I think it's too early to even talk about those who would have their top 4. But we're seeing some showing a glimpse of that hope that they can stay there and they can sustain that momentum. Thank you so much, Pius.